I was in this grocery store after the gym and I had a tank top on. I was just checking some stuff out at the self checkout line and I noticed this old couple next to me, probably in their 70s, maybe 80s. And they look over at me and they keep looking over, and I'm just checking stuff, bagging it, making sure I'm doing my thing. And then the guy looks at me and he doesn't stop staring at me. So I look at him, give a little smile, how's it going? Little head nod. And he just stares me in the face and says, exercise, with a little bit of a smile and a head nod himself. And I'm like, yeah, I like to exercise. And then he just says, turns around, him and his wife go walk out the door. Super random, but it's just crazy how weird it is to be lean nowadays and how most people just can't either comprehend that or just how rare it is now. Like when you go to a basic grocery store or like a movie theater or something like that, it's just super common to just see overweight people or just normal looking people, just non-fit people, because it's just day-to-day life. Most of this planet doesn't work out anyway, doesn't exercise anyway, so it's just like normal people. But when you come from the gym, you have a tank top on, you're just kind of doing your thing, like people look at you, they notice you, they pay attention, they see like, hey, that guy's in shape. And it's like in your case, you're just going about your day-to-day life because you just do what you got to do, and to them it's like you're almost like a zoo animal, but in a positive way. Like they're watching you and they're seeing how you act, what you do. It's almost like it's interesting to them. It's something outside of their norm, outside of their life. And it's really crazy because being lean truly is rare. I know if you go to some grocery stores like Trader Joe's is what we have down here, there's a lot of more fit people that go there, and there's certain stores where that have more fit, more lean people. But if you just go to some basic store, basic grocery store, even just basic places in general, gas station, like I said earlier, movie theater, library, you just see normal people, and that being lean is very rare in those settings, which is kind of why you appear to them like a zoo animal, because it's like, oh, look at that. You don't see that very often around here. And one thing I've noticed is that it's kind of weird to just be lean nowadays. And it's sort of unfortunate because it people 40 years ago, 50 years ago, people were just in better shape then. They're a lot more active. They're playing outside as kids every single day. You don't really see that as much anymore. I notice that when I'm going through in these neighborhoods and going to people's houses and whatnot, I notice there's no kids playing outside anymore. There's no soccer, there's no football, there's no kids roughhousing like in the grass area. There's none of that nowadays. Whereas a lot of us, I feel like my generation was one of the last generations to actually have that mix of being inside playing on electronics, but then also going outside. But even then, growing up, my siblings and I, we didn't really have like a crazy amount of electronics or anything, and our parents were pretty disciplined, had us be pretty disciplined, so we were outside a lot of the time as well. And so it's just pretty interesting. You don't notice that as often now. And it's also kind of crazy because aside from being weird to everybody else, sometimes like I like to hang out with more fit people typically, and my clients too. When they come to me, I see my clients as my friends, pretty much my fitness clients, and so I'm talking to them, I'm hanging out with them as well. And it's more so the idea that they are trying to get fit, they are trying to get healthy. And then all of my people that I know previously, most of us that hang out are pretty much lean, fit, working out, where we practice these sort of things and these sort of habits. And so when you break outside of your own circles, you start to realize, dang, there's not really a lot of people out there like that. Like it's sort of a niche circle to be in. And when you have everybody around you that does it, fit people are typically a lot more goal oriented as well. Like if you have discipline with your health, that discipline spills over into every other aspect of your life. So you kind of just assume, oh yeah, this is how people work. This is how people operate. And it's not really the case at all. So when you're hanging out with these fit people and then all of a sudden you go to a grocery store, you're just doing your thing and then people are just staring at you. It's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's almost kind of sad. 50 years ago, I feel like people just being in better shape, just not being overweight, not being obese was just so much more common. And it's kind of funny now because nowadays as well, with the clothes you wear, for like I said, I was wearing a tank top earlier, or even just when you wear something in general that might have been baggier on you and now you fill it out, or you see a little bit of arms, or you could see an outline of your chest or back. people think you're now showing off. Dude, where I'm from right now, it hits like 110 degrees in the summers. It's hot. I'm from Vegas. It's hot as balls in Vegas. During the summer times, it actually sucks. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna wear a tank top. It's freaking hot outside. Especially if I'm going to the gym, I'm already burning up. I walk outside, it's hot as fudge outside. Yeah, I'm gonna wear a tank top. And when you do, when you wear these sort of clothes and you just happen to look better in them, one, when you get fit, when you get lean, when you start to build that muscle and shred that fat down, you already make clothes look better anyways, as opposed to if we added 10 pounds of fat to you and took away 10 pounds of muscle. Like if you literally cloned yourself and did that, the one with less muscle and more fat would just not look as good in the clothes typically. And I noticed that no matter what you're wearing, it's almost like, oh, you gotta show off the guns today, huh? It's like, no, I'm kind of just wearing a t-shirt, man. Like I don't spend money on clothes. I actually can't remember. I cannot remember the last time I have specifically spent money on something that wasn't like socks or underwear or just something that wasn't given to me or a gift or whatever. And it's kind of crazy because I don't care to get like that fancy stuff either. Like I don't need any Louis Vuitton, nothing like that. But people just assume because of your body that you are trying to show off. And it's like, no, I'm actually kind of just chilling here. Like whenever, you take your shirt off at the beach, obviously a lot of people, as a lean person, a lot of people are going to look at you. A lot of people are going to turn. A lot of people are going to admire that. Like, hey, that's pretty cool. Good for you. And then a lot of people are going to have something to say because they realize they haven't been able to have the discipline themselves or have that same confidence of taking their shirt off at the beach or at the pool. They don't have that themselves. Whereas when you do get lean, you do tend to develop that confidence, and it does help. It makes you feel better because who doesn't like feeling better, and who doesn't like feeling more confident and excited in their own body. You know what I mean? So you'll fill out clothes nicer, you get lean, that sort of thing is pretty nice to have. And nowadays too, you'll notice that even the skinny people, like it's pretty rare now to see an adult, especially above the age of 30 or 40, just kind of being a skinny person. Now, I'm not saying everybody over the age of 30 and 40 is completely overweight or obese, but more so the idea that whenever they're skinny, they also have a gut, meaning it's like a skinny fat sort of physique. And for obese people, for overweight people, it's like, oh yeah, that guy's skinny. I want to be like that. Okay, that's valid. That's valid going from where you are now to that. Much better health overall. But every single person who's skinny now tends to have that gut or just a lot of fat in general. And they're not even technically skinny. They're not lean in any way, shape, or form. They just look like a smaller big person, if that makes sense. So it's pretty interesting to see how rare that is nowadays, because even our skinny people aren't even technically skinny. And it's kind of funny too when you see the NFL games, the football games, when people are at the games, any professional sports games in general, it's always this guy chugging a beer with a huge gut, and he's yelling and harassing the other team. And it's like, you're harassing some of the best athletes on this planet, some of the best, most well-developed physiques and hardest working people, most insane disciplines. You're harassing them for screwing up on a play or whatever it might be, and you yourself have not done anything for your body in decades, 2-3 decades, but you're yelling at them, you're yelling at your screen, and you're getting ticked off that these people who are in elite athletic shape aren't performing to your standard, but you aren't even performing to your standard. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to see that hypocrisy, because as I continue to get older, I remember when I was younger, when I was a teenager, especially in my early 20s, I would start to notice, hey, I noticed there's a lot of people who don't take care of themselves, that focus so heavily on sports and so heavily on watching these guys perform at such an elite level. And then they get mad at them because they weren't able to maybe jump as high or catch that pass or whatever. And it's like, dude, these people are insane athletes. They have insane physiques. They have insane, just all around athleticism. And you're sitting there with a beer in your hand. You can't even, when you go to the urinal, you can't even freaking see your Johnson. And it's like, did you never realize that is an issue as well? You're cursing these people out, and you can't even look down at the urinal and see your own thing. That's a pretty big issue. I just tend to notice that as every year passes and as I start to pay more attention to things outside of just that sports world and that sports realm, I just started to find that pretty interesting. But another thing too, when it comes to the social circles and being weird with it, like how being lean is so weird, a lot of people just you are out of the ordinary. Like it is once in a blue moon where someone sees you and then you reject food. You know what I mean? Someone offers you a beer and then you reject it. They think, "Oh, really? Yeah. Are you sure?" And you say, "Yeah, I'm good." And it's almost weird because it's so unique, so rare that you always puzzle the person. Their face becomes like very confused. They're not exactly sure why or what's going on, or if you're going through something. I've had a few of my clients tell me that before too, where they said, "No, like I'm good. I'm really not trying to drink right now." And then they start asking them, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? Is something wrong?" And they say, "Yeah, hey, actually, I'm actually doing great. I actually feel better. I actually have more energy and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling confident. I just need to, this does not serve my goals. So I don't need that right now." And people are always so confused about that. And guys, if you pay attention to what you eat, if you genuinely are paying attention, you even track what you eat, you go to the gym consistently, you start to notice that that's just not normal. Why do you think, for those of you that go to the gym, why do you think it is so common to see the same people all the time? How do you think you start to develop those gym bros and get to know people like that? You see those same people every single time. And it's because, like I said earlier, most of this planet doesn't even exercise. It is a rare thing to do. So when you have a bunch of people who do a rare thing come together, you notice that it's not as if every time you're going to the grocery store, it's just a whole new set of faces. Maybe you see a regular here and there, depending on where you're going, or maybe the workers you'll recognize. But just seeing people in general, you start to pick out those faces a lot more at the gym. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It is out of the ordinary for a person to just deny some sort of food, some sort of cake, holidays especially, birthdays especially. You almost have to just take that on the chin and just say, yeah, it doesn't serve my goals. I appreciate it though. I'm gonna stick with this, or whatever alternative might be there for you. But yeah, if you are lean and you are doing all these things, you probably picked up on these. If you aren't lean and you are trying to lose fat, you are trying to build muscle, you are trying to become that unicorn in a way where you want to develop that confidence to where people have a certain level of respect for you. There is a one-on-one coaching application in my description down below. Feel free to fill that out. Let me know exactly what you're struggling with and what your goals are specifically. And then the more specific you are, the more I can help you. Okay. I'll reach out to you. I'll see what I can do for you. And then we'll go from there. All right. In the meantime, if you found any value in this video or if you simply enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like down below and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.